So the other day, I'm driving around, and I'm in the neighborhood. I come across a house. Not a house, a proper house. And in the driveway outside of this house was a little 2-car driveway, right? And taking up perhaps about 3/4 of this driveway was a boat. It was a proper boat. And, as soon as I saw this thing, it looked exactly like the kind of boat that you would expect an early 50-somethings guy who's finally claimed his seat at the table of the upper middle class to have. And, it was nothing crazy, nothing to be smug about, though. Nothing to be shy about. And, I'm not really a boat guy. I've known this for many years, but I saw this boat, and I immediately thought, I want that boat. I need that boat. I don't have that boat, though, but if I did have that boat, I'd be able to experience things like the cascading of wind through my hair, not unlike the cascading of waves against the side of the boat. Right? I'd be able to watch the sunlight dance off of the shiny water surface. There's all kinds of poetic experiences that I would become privy to had I had this boat. Had I become a boat guy at some point in my life, maybe I could afford a boat right now. Right? All these life decisions were flashing before me. But then it dawned on me, you can't really have a boat unless you're also going to be a boat guy. Right? You got to be a boat guy. Every boat needs a boat guy. I'm not a boat guy. It's one thing to have a boat. Like, who wouldn't want a boat? I just expounded upon some of the poetic adventures you could have had you owned a boat at some point in your life, right? But having a boat is different than, maintaining a boat is different than having a boat or being in a boat. Right? If you are the owner of said boat, if you are responsible for said boat, then you need to do the repairs and the painting and the cleaning of the mildew. Right? There's no luxury in that. Right? Part of why I want a boat is because I want to look luxurious. There's no luxury in cleaning the side of your boat. You got to have a boat. So this just didn't sit well with me. And it was in that moment of unsitwellingness that I realized a universal truth that I think you'll just be compelled to agree with. I call it the truth of the boat guy. Truth of the boat guy. There's a lot we can learn from the need of a boat guy. Right? Life is filled with all kinds of wonderful luxuries, all kinds of poetic journeys that await for each of us. But oftentimes what gets in the way of these wondrous journeys is the absence of a guy, right? Things need guys. You can't have a boat unless you have a boat guy. How am I going to take care of a boat if I'm not a boat guy? How can I have that poetic journey of cascading around on the wondrous, shiny and sparkling lake surface without a boat guy? Like, if I can't take care of the boat, I need someone to do it for me. And let's not forget that this boat was made by a guy or a group of guys. And their very existential imperative was dependent upon them being able to find a guy who needed a boat. So they needed a boatless guy. They needed a boatless guy who wasn't a boat guy, was not ever going to become a boat guy, and who would then himself need a boat guy. A boat guy, right? So, and this guy, these guys who make the boats, and even the boat guys themselves who fix said boats, who do the boat guyishness, they, you know what? They may themselves have cars. Right? Normal terrestrial vehicles, and they may not be car guys. They may know how to fix these cars, but they themselves may not be car guys. But they want to have a car. Right? Like myself right now. I'm in a car as we speak. I'm not a car guy. Now, me not being a car guy has never stopped me from having a car. Why? Because of the truth of the boat guy. I've had a boat guy for my car for years. I've just never called him a car guy or a boat guy. I've called him a mechanic. I don't know the term for a boat mechanic. Because he's a boat guy. The existence of the boat guy. And you know, these boat guys who are themselves not car guys, who have car guys, who may themselves also have boats, well, they may also need houses. They gotta live somewhere. They gotta sleep somewhere, right? But what if they're not house guys? Electricians, plumbers, and other types of house guys. If we didn't have these types of guys, we wouldn't have houses. Not houses, houses. We wouldn't have houses, proper houses. So as I circle back, you know, I did a double take. Saw this wonderful boat, but in this guy's driveway, but there was no boat guy in sight. So I figured this guy himself, he's confronted this conundrum as well at some point in his life. He's decided to have a boat. So I went out after I circled the block about the 11th time or something like that. You're there first, so you go. I circled the block, and on about the 12th time, I think it was, I decided to go and knock on his door. Now, his door was locked, so I had to go and look in the window. He was having dinner with his family, but it was unlocked, so I just lifted it and kind of crawled in. And I went inside, and there was an empty chair next to his family. So I pulled up a seat, and it was at that moment that he called the police guy.